Everyone, here Teresa Morrow for Inspiration Nation TV. This week I wanted to talk about mistakes. How to really look at mistakes as a plus. I recently saw this episode of Oprah's Masterclass with Susan Sarandon. I don't know if you had watched it, but if you have not, I hope you do, because it was really something really neat. She was talking about mistakes, and she was talking about how many mistakes that she had made, and that her life was built upon mistakes, basically. The fact that she would do things and, mess up, and she said she really learned more from mistakes than she did triumphs. And I wanted to also read something to you that I found in a book by Melody Beattie, her book, Journey to the Heart. It's called Don't Be Afraid of Making Mistakes. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. That energy can create more mistakes. It can stop you from enjoying what we're doing. It can block us from creating freely and making something beautiful. Sometimes it's necessary and important to make mistakes, to fumble around and do something poorly so we can learn to do it better next time. No matter what we're doing or what we're learning, we have to start somewhere. Look back at the past. We've learned by trying, stumbling, falling, getting back up, and trying again. But we wouldn't be where we're at if we hadn't begun where we were. Isn't that true? Jump in, begin, and do the task as best as you can. Start worrying about mistakes. Stop worrying about mistakes and let yourself do it as well as you can right now. If you do it wrong or poorly, you can do it over again. And when you do it with an attitude of love, you won't fail. You'll learn something new about yourself, life, and the task. Love yourself enough to try. Let yourself make mistakes. Tell yourself you don't have to do it perfectly. Let yourself have fun while you're learning. Start where you are and do what you can. Learning and getting better will happen from there. Isn't that the truth, though? I mean, so many times we try to do things perfect the first time, and we just drive ourselves nuts in the process, don't we? I know that when I was going to write my first book, Life Lessons from the Heart, I kind of took that approach. I would start but not really do anything because I kept thinking it had to be perfect. Like I had to write it perfect from the start. Like, why would I even want to write a book if it wasn't going to be perfect? But I kept thinking it had to be perfect right away. Well, that was silly. I mean, I had never written a book before. How did I know what perfect was going to be from the get-go? I didn't. So I was telling a friend of mine, like, I really want to write this book, and she said, then start writing. How novel, right? Like how simple. I think we just try to think, sometimes we make things so much more difficult than they are, and we're so afraid of making mistakes, like Melody says in her book, that we don't even start because we're so afraid to make the mistake in the first place. And most of the time, it's not as bad as we think it is, and there's always lessons to be learned in things that we do. So there's really no mistake as long as you learn the lesson, right? So that was my tip for today, is that if you're wanting to start something new, but you want it to be perfect right away, just start doing it and see what happens from there. You'll get it done. Thanks for listening to this edition of Inspiration Nation TV.
So if you like this video on Inspiration Nation TV, we'd love for you to join us at teresamorrow.com to share your stories, your experiences, and your comments there. Also, if you like this video, you can like it on YouTube or subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching Inspiration Nation TV.